Welcome back to the Gargrove channel, and today we win an auction for a 1967 Mustang off Bring a Trailer. That bidding went on forever. That was crazy auction. It kept resetting the time. It would get bid on, which resets the clock, and then I would wait and I would bid on it, which resets the clock. The auction probably went over probably a good 30 minutes what it should have been, because there was a little bit of a bidding war in there. But the Mustang is mine. So now I just gotta wait on a call from the seller, and we'll figure out a time to go pick it up. Are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited? We flew into Charlotte, North Carolina to get the car. It's gonna be a long day. Oh, there it is. I wonder where the seller is. It's got a lot of garages. It's awesome. Oh yeah. Dude, this thing looks awesome. I'm pretty sure it has 50,000 miles on the car. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's nice. Heck yeah. Wonder where the... Alright, let's go find the seller and give him an interview.
Well, that's easy. The first memory is riding over, just my mother and I, to the dealership. And this is a small town in New Jersey, about 30 miles east of Philadelphia. One stoplight town. She had never bought a car on her own before, and she bought it new off the lot. She loved the diamond blue, robin's egg blue color, and my father had no idea that my mother, his wife, was asserting her independence of buying this car on her own without any input from him. And he came back from out of town, and there was a Mustang sitting in the driveway, and what's that? And a small town called Medford, New Jersey, and they had one car dealership, and it was the Ford. I also sold it was pretty rural in too, so they also sold a lot of trucks, tractors, and things like that, and not many Mustangs. And so she bought it brand new right then off the lot. And I forget what she paid for it. I don't have the bill of sale, but I have the original registration when she bought it from the dealer. So there's no power assist in that vehicle, just a straight original 289. I would be driving her around in her car, and I'm manhandling the steering wheel around small town Jersey. And I went, Mom, now I know why this is how you get your exercise, and why you never wanted power steering. I said, because it's everything you can do. You got to stand on the brake to stop it. Yeah. And she didn't know any different. She looked at trading it a couple of times in the 80s. Everybody stopped her in the grocery store, because she was the only librarian in town. Sure. With white hair, and she drove that little hot rod Mustang. There were a couple of mechanics who wanted to buy it from her. Oh, I believe it. Because that she'd had in school. And she said, no, I think I'm just going to keep it. What was like her commute like during the day? Did she live pretty close to the library? She could have walked there if she'd wanted. It was like a mile and a half kind of thing. I used to ride my bike to school. Day-to-day commute wasn't really long enough. The engine wouldn't even get warm. So it's showing somewhere around 50, right? Mm-hmm. You put 150, but I did the math on it. She could drive up until when she stopped driving. That means it worked out. The math worked out at 16 miles a day. So do you think it might actually have 50,000 miles? Oh no, it's got 150. It's definitely got 150. Okay. It's got 150. Sure. Yeah. It would have to. Nah, because it worked. The math works out at 16. It was like 16 a day if she drove 5 days a week, I think. Oh, sure.
I was curious.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, she certainly during the school year every
Sure.
day. Fall of '68, they drove to Florida.
Oh, neat.
She drove by herself Highway 17 along the coast, all the way from Vero Beach, Florida to Jersey in that car.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one singular long trip.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't imagine doing it today. You know.
Well, I'm about to drive it to Texas.
You are about to drive it, I know. But I was dating a very attractive blonde that summer, and
good Mustang memories.
We were good Mustang memories. Yeah. And I remember going, because we drove down to the beach. By we were 18, and we were adults because Vietnam, and I was on the draft was going on. So she and I drove down to the beach, and I got a sunburn. Mom said, "Son, what? You look awfully red." Oh well, it was skins and shirts day in PE, Mom.
Yeah.
I was on the skins side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, Mom, we had lots of memories.
Yeah.
In that Mustang.
Yeah.
When you put it in terms of doing the math of 16 a day, surely it's 150. And her commute, her daily commute would be 3 miles.
Say 20 miles a week, 50 weeks in a year. That's 1,000 miles a year.
Right.
Times 30 years, you're at.
And then the extra stuff, the extra trips and things. Yeah.
There's no way it would have happened.
Yeah.
And my mother, there's no way she drove.
Yeah.
As little as my wife drives, my mother didn't even come close to that.
Yeah.
She stopped driving in the summer of '99, and so since that point to today, the incremental miles would only be 2,000, 3,000 miles.
Sure.
It might be only 50,000 miles. There's no way that's 150,000 miles. She rarely drove.
Yeah.
And she would go see her brothers.
Sure.
And I can't imagine how that would have been 150,000 on that vehicle then in up between 67 and 90. You're exactly right. That's the original miles. I just assumed it had rolled over.
I like it. We picked up the Mustang probably 2-3 hours ago. Ran around to the parts store. I put some oil in it, some trans fluid. Just kind of cleaned it up, cleaned the windows, and we got about 200 miles on it right now, and seems to be running pretty good. No problems. It starts up good. What do you think of the car, babe?
I think it's gonna be my car.
Oh, you're gonna steal it from me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought so. We started climbing up into the mountains. Heater cables are broke, because it was 65 when we left, and then Sarah looked out the window and it was snowing. So we're up in the mountains, and it looks like it quit snowing, but it looks like we're going into like some kind of, maybe a snowstorm. It's cold. What do you got, Sarah?
Hot hand, a blanket from Walmart, and socks.
We were up in the mountains, and it started snowing pretty heavily. We're about probably 60 miles from like Tell the Dragon. I was like, all right, let's call it, because I am on all drum brakes and 10-year-old Tiger Paws. So I was getting a little slick out, and no power steering. And so anyways, we stopped at the town Silva, North Carolina, which I think The Fugitive and Deliverance were filmed in. Found a bar, had a couple of whiskeys. Thankfully, we parked the car here, and there was an Uber in Silva, North Carolina, and this is where we're at. So it's like midnight. We stopped this road trip 6 hours ago. So it's been 6 hours of Silva bar hopping.
No, North Carolina.
Yeah, Silva, North Carolina.
Can you show them all?
I just want to let you guys know the room Sarah picked out. What the shit?
It has 3 beds.
The Dragon, which took us from North Carolina into Tennessee. Then we went Tennessee down, cut into Georgia for a little bit, and then cut from Georgia into Alabama. The seats, the foam is like 50 years old and it's starting to get concave, the back. So my back's killing me, but the car's doing great. Back blast. This car's probably only had, I don't know, 1,500 miles put on it in the last 25 years. I'm running 70 on the freeway. It's doing great. Heater doesn't work, so we got a bunch of hot hands at Walmart. The tires are pretty sketchy. They are almost 15 years old. So, which means they've sat a lot. So I get a little bit of vibrations, just depending on what speed I'm going on. But we'll get new tires put on it when we get back to Texas. Hopefully they'll make it there. So far I'm pretty happy with the car. There's a few things the seller, and I don't think it was really so much his fault. He's not a big car guy, but I think I even asked him how old the tires were, but it's clear on the side of the sidewalls they're from 07, so they're really old. But yeah, there's a few things that aren't quite right. You know, the heater doesn't work, things like that would have been really easy for somebody to check. It's not that he was being dishonest, he just, again, not a big car person. But as a bonus, the car was sold as if it had 150,000 miles, and we're both pretty sure at this point the car actually has 50,000 miles. So it's a one family owned 50,000 miles 67 Mustang, which is pretty cool. Pump it twice. Yeah, she's running. Give it a little bit of gas. Easy. Holy sh. All right, so it doesn't have power steering and it doesn't have power brakes. Okay, that just means that everything, you have to give it a little more muscle. As you're going through the parking lot, just step on the brakes so you don't get surprised.
Oh.
Push. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Go.
It's like it won't stop.
Yeah, you just gotta really push on it. Look, that guy's got, look, he's driving the same. I bet he don't have no power steering either. Get him, Sarah, go. Want that old Ford truck. Go. And then just keep it under 70.
Where's the speedometer?
I'm not even gonna answer that.
Oh.
Go. There you go.
Oh my god.
All right, so that's it. We're back home, back in Texas. We road tripped this Mustang during the quarantine back home. It was right at the beginning of the quarantine where everybody was kind of like, should we lock everything down or not? It was, I want to say, the very beginning of March, this road trip. It is now the very end of May. I've had 3 months to drive this car and kind of get my feedback. I didn't want to post a video right away without kind of giving a conclusion to what it's like to buy a vintage car, road trip at home from a non-car guy. You know, will we make it? You know, the car did excellent, great. It drove great. Needs some lumbar in the seats. It was a little uncomfortable, but I've been driving it now at the house for 3 months. Now, obviously, it's quarantine, so I haven't been driving as much as I normally would, but this is my daily driver. I sold my other vehicles and bought this Mustang. I was just bored of these new cars. There's just something about driving a classic car. It just resonates with me. It's nice. Things that have broken on it since I bought it. The battery went dead, which you can see I carry jumper cables. I need to throw those in the trunk. So I replaced the battery. The fuel pump went out. No big deal. It was like 20 bucks in like 20 minutes to replace it. Other than that, the car runs fantastic. It's not quite how the seller described. And again, I'm not faulting him because he's not a car guy. So on the positive side, he thought the car had 150,000 miles on it, and it really only has 50,000 miles. A 50,000 mile original one family owned car, that's nuts. And I got it for 8,500 bucks. You guys can go and bring a trailer, type in 1967 Mustang, and look at, you know, you can see the questions I asked, and I raised a bunch of questions on the auction to deter guys from trying to pay too much for the car, okay? On the flip side, though, the car's in a little worse shape than what was described in the ad. And again, it wasn't him trying to be dishonest. I just don't think he knew any better. You know, this spot on the trunk, which was mentioned in the article, you know, that's Bondo. And it rusted underneath the Bondo. So this trunk's going to have to be repainted. You know, really the whole car needs to be repainted. I don't mind the patina, but it's getting kind of bad, you know, in several spots. I think my biggest gripe with the auction was that I mentioned several times, can we have more pictures of what appears to be rust in the front of the car? And he put some kind of comment on there like, yeah, there is some rust. Maybe the car shouldn't be driven all the way to Texas. Well, what this car really should have had, and this is a lesson for everybody, is gone on a lift and taken pictures, because not only was the rust more pronounced than what was shown, it also had dodgy repairs on it. So somebody at some point had it repaired. Now, he might have forgotten that or whatever. Again, I don't think he was being dishonest, but this is going to be a pain in the butt for me to fix. Let me see if I can show you guys. Up underneath here, this has been patched up, this whole frame rail over here. And then the floorboards have some bad spots in them too. So the front frame rail on the passenger side is going to have to be repaired, and I'm probably going to have to replace some floorboards. It's okay. I got a good deal for the car. I think repaired and fixed, the car is probably worth a solid 15 grand. So I almost got it for half price. So the auction was fair for sure. I just wish the rust had been disclosed better, because the auction price probably wouldn't have ended up as high as it was with this much rust repair needed, and the paint job being as bad as it is. But I love the car. It's great. Everybody should own an American V8 car, you know, besides any other cars you have. I'm not saying just have that, but you should have at least an old classic American V8 car. There's nothing like it. Like, this is why other countries pay big money to import these to their countries, because there's just something about it. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry about the delay. I wanted to give my review after driving it for 3 months, but also due to the quarantine and pandemic, my kids were in town, and I was a school teacher for the last 3 months to 4 kids. So it was freaking crazy here. Anyways, stay tuned. we're buying an RV and we're rehabbing it, and we're gonna do some trips in it, so I'll post some videos on that. I'm still working on the Cougar. I just don't have enough for a video right now, so it's still coming. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and get out, travel, stay safe. I'm out of here. Okay, I totally forgot something. Let me throw this in there real quick. This car is in so-so shape. I've been driving it, it's fine. Completely original. Not one modification on this car. I'm conflicted because I have a friend building a motor for the Cougar, and it's going to be about 300 horse, and I'm honestly thinking about putting it in this car and switching it to a manual and doing some modifications on it that will make me enjoy the car more. I don't know though. I don't know if I should touch it because I mean I do like it like it is. I just think it will be more fun with a limited slipper end, 4-speed top loader, and 300 horse. In the comments, tell me what you guys would do. What should I do? I'm not so concerned with the value of the car, but then again, there's not very many 50,000 mile original Mustangs still left. I mean, it's kind of rare. So I'm very, very conflicted. In the comments, tell me, what would you guys do? What do you want to see done to the car? All right, this time I'm actually out.